Hello, I am Colonel Ron Walker, Commander of 15 Wing. It is with a heavy heart that the Wing Chief and I welcome you all here this afternoon to 15 Wing Moose Jaw. First and foremost, we are joining the Canadian Air Division 2CAD Commander and his staff, all of the 15 Wing team, and 431 Squadron family to pass on our deepest and sincerest sympathies to Captain Jen Casey's loved ones. We are truly saddened by her tragic loss, and we extend our thoughts and prayers to all her family members, colleagues, and friends. We also want to pass on our best wishes to Captain Rich McDougall for a speedy recovery from your injuries. Our thoughts and prayers are with you and your family as well, Rich. To the warriors of 431 Squadron, the 15 Wing team and families stand ready to support you as we all go through this tragic event together. Please reach out to one another, any support personnel you may need, or any of us here, as we all need to help each other through this difficult time and loss. I will now turn the mic over to Lieutenant Colonel Mike French, Commanding Officer of 431 Squadron Snowbirds.
Just 1 second, please, sir. Thank you, sir. At approximately 11:45 on May 17th, 2020, shortly after takeoff from Kamloops Airport, Snowbird 11, a Canadian Forces Snowbirds CT-114 Tudor, crashed into a nearby neighborhood. Prior to the crash, the two-person crew of the aircraft ejected. Tragically, Captain Jen Casey, the team's public affairs officer, did not survive. The aircraft's pilot, Captain Rich McDougall, survived with non-life-threatening injuries. The team is devastated by the loss of Jen. She was the quintessential public affairs officer, a tireless and energetic officer with a social media network of contacts from her previous media career as a broadcaster. And she had a savvy with social media which endeared her to the public. She absolutely loved this job, and it was one of the main reasons why the Snowbirds Operation Inspiration had been so well received by the public. She had just received one Canadian Air Division Commander's coin in recognition of her stellar efforts, and a nomination was being drafted for a Chief of the Defence Staff commendation. Her loss is a serious blow not only to our team, but to the Royal Canadian Air Force and the Canadian Armed Forces as a whole. I've spoken with Jen's family and passed on our sincere and heartfelt condolences. No words of comfort. No words can comfort the pain that they are feeling right now, and I've passed on that they are not grieving alone. We are also thinking of Captain McDougall at this time and supporting him as he recovers from his injuries. I've spoken to him and assured him that he has the full support of the team and the Canadian Armed Forces as he goes through this difficult time. At this time, the precise circumstances leading up to the crash are not known. The crash site has been secured by local law enforcement, and the immediate flight safety response is being coordinated on the ground by the team's flight safety officers as we speak. An investigation team from the Director of Flight Safety in Ottawa will arrive in Kamloops and conduct a flight safety investigation to determine the cause of the accident. We want to thank the first responders from the Comox area for their timely and professional response, and I would be remiss if I did not mention the stoic and brave response of the members of the public who came to aid our teammates, especially those that had the aircraft land in their neighborhood. We also appreciate the messages of support for Rich and his well-being. The support of every Canadian is truly appreciated during these difficult times. As of now, Operation Inspiration is postponed until further notice, and the entire Snowbirds fleet is on an operational pause. Over the coming days, the team will regroup and come together as we mourn the loss of our colleague. When it is appropriate to do so, we will return to 15 Wing to plan our next steps. Today, however, we need a day to decompress and understand what happened to Jen and to Rich. We will share our hearts with Canadians tomorrow, and the team members need this time to be together and mourn in private. We thank all Canadians for their continued support, patience, and understanding during this immensely challenging time for the team.
Okay, we will now start with questions from the floor. Please identify yourself as well as your news agencies and limit yourself to one question and one follow-up. you don't mind answering in French and in English, it's possible for you. Do we know exactly what happened to Jen Casey? Why didn't she survive?
We don't know exactly what happened, and that's why we're carrying out this investigation. We know that the two pilots, or the pilot and the public affairs officer, ejected, and that she did not survive the crash.
Would you be comfortable answering in French as well?
Okay. Could you ask the question in French, please?
Est-ce qu'on sait exactement ce qui est arrivé à Madame Casey et pourquoi elle n'a pas survécu?
Non, nous ne savons pas ce qui s'est passé exactement à Capitaine Jen Casey. Nous savons seulement qu'elle s'est éjectée de l'aéronef et maintenant elle n'a pas survécu à l'accident.
We know that those planes were bought in the 60s, they're quite old, and there has been an accident in December last year. Is there concern about the safety of those planes?
Safety is the #1 priority of the Snowbirds. And so, yes, if you ask me if safety is a concern, it is always a concern to us. And that is why we're going through this investigation to find out exactly what happened before we take any further steps. At this time right now, our priority is to be with our families and take care of our personnel. That's where we're at right now. I'm not ready to comment on further steps because right now our focus is on our people.
Would you be okay to answer in French as well?
Sure, if you could ask me the question in French as well.
Ces avions ont été achetés dans les années 60, ils commencent à être vieux maintenant, et puis il y a déjà eu un accident aussi en décembre l'année dernière. Est-ce qu'il y a des inquiétudes par rapport à la sécurité de ces appareils?
La sécurité des appareils est notre première priorité. C'est toujours comme ça. Alors, la réponse est oui. Mais maintenant, nous avons une enquête qui va déterminer les prochaines mesures à faire avec l'avion. Pour maintenant, nous allons prendre soin de nos personnels. Ça, c'est notre première étape maintenant.
What do you have to say about the skills of the pilot who was able to avoid the city and put his plane back on the right position to be able to eject?
Our pilots are highly trained to do this maneuver. Not only that, we brief it before takeoff every time. And what you saw yesterday was the confluence of a whole bunch of intersecting circumstances where it led to our worst case scenario. Our priorities are always the security of the public, the safety of the public, safety of our personnel, and then the protection of our equipment and property. And in this case, the amount of time left, all those options evaporated prior to Captain Rich McDougall ordering the ejection. Okay, and again, I'd ask you to
Comment est-ce que vous qualifieriez le comportement, les compétences du pilote qui a réussi à éviter la ville pour remettre son avion à plat pour pouvoir s'éjecter en très peu de temps?
Nos pilotes s'entraînent pour ces situations et de plus, on fait un petit briefing avant d'atterrir. Alors, il était prêt pour cette situation, mais cette situation exacte était une confluence des situations les plus périlleuses pour nous. Alors, il avait très peu de temps pour faire ses décisions et quand toutes ces décisions ont évaporé, il a commandé l'éjection de l'aéronef.
Thank you. We have two questions from the Toronto Star. The Snowbirds have experienced several fatal crashes over the years. Some people say it is time to permanently ground them to prevent further injuries. Are the DND and Canadian Forces committed to continuing the Snowbirds program?
I'm commanding officer of the Canadian Forces Snowbirds. I don't speak on behalf of D&D and the Canadian Forces on those decisions. I can certainly tell you that the mission for the Canadian Forces Snowbirds is to, as Canadian ambassadors, we demonstrate the skill, professionalism, and teamwork of the Canadian Forces, and we serve as a platform for recruiting. It's a mission that I can get behind. It's a mission I believe in, and it's a mission that I believe is important. So I certainly hope our mission will continue.
And we have a second question from the Toronto Star. Pilots and other members of the forces agree to take on certain risks as part of their jobs. Yesterday's crash occurred in a residential area and could have seriously injured or killed civilians who have not agreed to take such risks. How can D&D and the Canadian Forces guarantee that future Snowbirds operations won't pose a risk to the public?
We measure our risks and we mitigate our risks on the Snowbirds. It's absolutely our first priority as pilots in these airplanes to consider the safety of the public, the safety of our personnel, and the safety of or the protection of equipment and the preservation of property, in that order. And as I said before, yesterday's circumstances led to the confluence of all those worst-case scenarios, and it became our absolute worst nightmare.
Do we have any more questions?
I know you said that there's going to be an investigation done, obviously, to look into the potential causes of this. I know you said you can't speak to any of that today, but the public will be wanting to know as much as they can know. I suppose my question is, what will the public be told about this, and when will they hear about it?
So as I was a previous accident investigator before, so I'm familiar with the process. The accident investigation is done by the Directorate of Flight Safety. It's similar to a civilian National Transportation Safety Board investigation. They're trained to do all the same stuff. So they look at human factors, weather, maintenance. They interview people. They review video, and they will do a full investigation to find out what happened with the aim of preventing this from happening in the future and mitigating those risks. Typically what you'll find out in about 30 days, there will be a from the investigator, which is a quick snapshot into, say, a pathway they're looking at, which might give you an indication of where we're going. But these investigations can take up to a year to finish, and so sometimes even longer. And so typically you would look for that from the investigator as your first clue as to what we're going after.
And when that's completed, where would somebody find that information?
I believe well, I know they're released on the Directorate of Flight Safety public website.
Before the planes go into the air, I think every time there's a significant safety check beforehand. Can you say, like, on a general level, like, what goes into a snowbird, like, getting into the air, you know, before they even get in the air? Like, what kind of level of safety are we talking about?
Sure. First of all, the planes are broken down, and I know 400 hours doesn't mean anything to you, but it's about every second year the planes accumulate that much time. They're torn down right to nothing and rebuilt. So we're dealing with basically an as new mint condition airplane when we do that. Every day they are also checked out on a B check prior to going flying. So they're inspected by avionics people, aircraft structures people, and safety systems people that go through the airplane and make sure that it's serviced properly. And then the pilot also does a walk around to make sure that the airplane is safe prior to going flying. And then there's that takeoff brief that I referred to earlier as well.
And you're confident on a daily level, even on a busy tour like this, that was all done prior to this?
Absolutely, it's done every flight, and so and I was flying with the team for the last 2 weeks on the Eastern Swing. We do that every flight.
We have one more question.
Est-ce que vous pourriez répondre à la question sur la suite, l'avenir de la mission des Snowbirds? Est-ce que ce deuxième accident remet cette mission en question? Et est-ce que vous allez continuer la tournée Inspiration qui a lancé?
Encore une fois?
Est-ce que vous pourriez répondre en français à la question qui vous a été posée tout à l'heure sur l'avenir de la mission des Snowbirds? Est-ce qu'elle est revue? Est-ce que remis en question ou est-ce que leurs missions vont continuer?
Oui, OK. Donc, c'est la même question encore en français. OK. Moi, je ne peux pas parler de l'avenir des Snowbirds parce que c'est une décision pour le gouvernement. Mais notre mission, c'est de représenter les forces canadiennes et le professionnalisme, le dévouement et le talent des membres des forces canadiennes et pour faire du recrutement aussi. Ça, c'est une mission en ce que je crois fortement et j'espère que ça continue.
Perfect. That's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for coming. If you have further questions,